Welcome back to Nurse Co Knows Live. Y'all, I did it. We remain consistent for 2 weeks in a row. All right. Thursdays at 1 p.m. is where you can always find me here for Nurse Co Knows Live. It's kind of a joke that I started making videos, and at the end of them, I would say, Nurse Co Knows, and now you know. And so everybody in around town started calling me Nurse Co Knows. And so I was like, you know what? That's going to be the lives. The lives are going to be Nurse Co Knows. I'm going to introduce myself just a little bit as you come on in the room. And I am a registered nurse. I love mommies and babies. Maternal health is my thing. But it's not just new moms. It is moms of any age child. If you carry the role of mother, then this is for you. Because we know that we carry a lot on our shoulders, or we can. And so we have to learn to cast those cares onto God. And we have to learn that we have a purpose and we have things to do in this earth. And yes, it is to take care of our families, but also it is more than just that. And so we are a group of moms called Thrive Mommy Community, that we really go after the things and the assignments that God has designed for our lives. And we say yes, and we go. All right. And we do it with our children, because he didn't give them to us to stop life, but he gave them to us to follow us along as we go through life. And so the more they see you do, and the more they see you be used by God, the more they'll say yes to whatever their assignments and their things are. So on today, we are talking about a few things, but before we get started, I do want us to do something every time we step into this space. And that thing is, we're going to breathe into the space. And I watched another video, and I can't remember her name, man, of a YouTuber that she was talking about something similar to this, about how the parasympathetic system works and the sympathetic system works. You have two different systems. And think about the sympathetic system. It's like your fight or flight, like you're trying to run from danger. But a lot of times when we're really stressed, or we have trauma and things like that in our lives, that system is always activated. And that system literally sends blood and oxygen to our extremities to get away, to fight, but it pulls away from our heart, our lungs, our liver, our stomachs. And so you end up having issues and you don't know why. Hey, Scholar, welcome, welcome. So do you like and so what I find is that when I have people breathe into the space, even when I do my life coaching sessions with moms and stuff like that, it then allows you to kind of come into agreement, come into the space that's yours, and then you send the blood and oxygen to the places that it needs: your brain, your heart, your lungs, and then you're fully available. Hello, Ronald Bell. Hello, Scholar. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming in to Nurse Co Knows Live. And if you have questions around purpose, motherhood, life questions, scenarios, and you want a fresh new perspective on it, definitely, let me know in the comments, and I would love to engage as much as possible. Hey, Dre Carmen. If you are a mom, please let me know that as well, because we cater to all moms at My Mommy, My Baby. So like I said, we're going to breathe into the space because we are going to activate our parasympathetic nervous system, because we want to come into this space and come into alignment every single week. And we're going to have some good old girl chit chat. You get in my business, because I'm going to tell you what's going on in my life, and then we use it all for His glory. So let's go ahead and close your eyes. And the way you're going to breathe is you're going to breathe in through your nose and really engage your diaphragm by pushing your belly out when you breathe in. And then as you're breathing out, you're going to breathe out through your mouth. And I really want you to breathe out longer than what you breathe in. And that's the way you really breathe. And you'll notice that you have this sense of just relaxation flow over your body, because it is so important for us to just breathe. And that is the season I'm in God, resting and breathing. And so, have you ever tried popcorn? So go ahead and take a big deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And sometimes it helps to put your hand on your belly so you can really feel your belly expand out. So again, go in through your nose and out through your mouth. I want you to breathe in peace in through your nose and breathe out anxiety out through your mouth. Breathe in love in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in courage in through your nose and breathe out fear. How did that feel? And if you catch us on a replay, make sure you go ahead and comment and like this video, share it, and all of that good stuff so we can get out to more and more moms that this is a space that you can come to every single Thursday and be poured into, right? So, first off, like I said, we talk about purpose. We are a community called Thrive Mommy where moms come together for the purpose of doing what God told us to do. We are no longer staying on the sidelines. We are in the army of the Lord, and we are doing what He called us to do. And that's what's important to understand is that if you are walking with Him, if you are walking with Jesus Christ, that you are already in purpose. There's purpose in the process, okay? And so a lot of times we're thinking that we're chasing our purpose or we're looking for our purpose or but you are in purpose. And you just have to keep going and you have an expected end, a hope and a future. All of that will come. And so stress less about that part and just enjoy the journey of the walk, right? And he also knows where we are, especially as moms. Sometimes our children are younger. Sometimes they just have more needs than what they usually do and just different things. And so he understands and he's already made the provisions and the necessary adjustments in place for you to be able to care for your families and your children and also do the additional assignments and the things that he has for you to do in your life. So yeah, so we use that as a catalyst, not a hindrance. We use our families to help push us to the places that we need to go. So that's my little tidbit on purpose. So I want to talk to you a little bit today about resting in the middle of chaos. I have a lot going on in my world right now. And oftentimes we are wired and we learn to push through those moments instead of resting in them and seeking God's face to seeing what He wants. And I'm guilty of that as well. I was starting my community back up and I was doing all these things and I realized that I was kind of doing it in my own strength again. And I'm like, why does it feel so hard? And when I really sat with him, got my journal, because you really when you spend time with any kind of meeting that you go to, most of the time you're going to want to write what was being said at the meeting so you can remember, right? Nothing is different about a meeting with God, because if you don't write it down, if you don't write the vision, it gets taken away so fast, especially as moms with having so much on our plates and things to do. The things that you sit and get from God, you have to write them down so you can have something to go back to. So I sat with him and he gave me a strategy. He said, meet with him 5 o'clock every morning. Rest and breathe. That's what he said. Rest and breathe. And so I've been in really this rhythm of resting and breathing and sitting with him. And he said, well, this is something he said too. He said, you want the presence without the sacrifice. Because I was kind of going along my days and I would pray and I would do all of this, but I wasn't doing the intentional sit with him lately. And It just does not work like that. Maybe at the beginning of your walk, because he's chasing after you, he's running after you, he wants you, but eventually as you grow in the things of God, he's going to require something from you. He's going to require a sacrifice. And the sacrifice is never for him. The sacrifice is to get something to us. And for me, it was to give me rest and clarity. And our 5 o'clock in the morning sessions have been amazing. I do not regret listening and sitting with him and seeking his face, because he gives me more and more as I sit. So, resting in the middle of chaos, I want to go back to think about one place in the Bible. We probably all know the story when Jesus was resting on the boat and the storm was raging all around him, but reminding us that we have a strong tower that we can run in even when the storm of life happens. We can sit and we can rest in him, and we can be assured that he's got us. So that's what I want to say for today. If that is where you are, it is okay. Nothing is going undone. Nothing is you're not missing anything, because what we said, he's a redeemer of time. And so all the time that you feel like you lost in resting, because we're called to rest in different seasons. When you come out of your resting phase and it's time for you to go hard again, or go with him, because you always want to go in a rhythm with God, then he is going to make sure that you are right in the place where you need to be. So listen, be obedient, because that's where the joy is. Also, I want to remind you too, what I've learned in this season is that doing is not always the best way to please God. You know, yes, he's called us to do something for him, but he also has called us to become someone. And the becoming, the doing kind of takes care of itself. It's so remember this always. It's okay for rest. And so all of this is all for you to sit with that and really believe it, because once you really believe something in your spirit, you start behaving like it, and then the becoming will happen. 5 practical ways to rest in God. You ready? 5 practical ways. One is meditative prayer. So we just did, if you didn't catch the beginning of the video, we just did a little bit of a breathing. And that's one way to do meditative prayer. We've let kind of new age practices, stuff like that, take away meditation from us, as far as, I guess if you would consider yourself a Christian, but a Christ follower, somebody that follows biblical principles and all of that. We have to know that in order for us to remember and for his word to be written on our hearts and for all of that to happen, you have to get into a calm state to be able to quiet your spirit, quiet your soul, and receive. And the way you do meditative prayer is that you do a lot more listening than talking, believe it or not. As you're sitting there and you're pouring out, you may say one thing, ask a question, and you need to sit and listen to the answer. I may say, okay, Lord, I'm so confused in this moment. Why are you allowing this to happen in my life? Where is this going? You need to then sit and listen. You may have on some worship music, some prophetic kind of instrumental music, but something that's going to put you in a place of being able to receive, to pour out and hear. Next thing is allowing yourself to be loved on, okay? Because oftentimes we think the more we give, the more we get, but not always true. He sends people, physical people on this earth, to help us through things. We're called to help each other, to use our gifts to help each other. And so you have to allow yourself to be loved on, but for that to happen, you have to first sound the alarm. Let your people that you trust in your life know, hey, I'm drowning, I'm stressed, I'm having this going on, whatever you need to tell them, so they'll know to even be there to check on you more often, maybe, or to pray for you, or to send you a text message. Whatever it is, call your community, call your circle in and say, I need support right now, because people don't know what you don't tell them. Next is seeking God for instructions. I told you about the instructions he's given me, and it has been life changing for this season. I didn't even know this season was coming up, but he did. And he knew the place that I needed to be in to be able to go forth and continue to do the things that he called me to do. One thing being these Nurse Code Knows lives. So I was supposed to start at the beginning of the year. Well, I would say supposed to, but it's happening now. So I believe that I'm in his exact timing. But yes. And then the last thing is think of things that are good in your life. If you keep your eyes fixed on the problems, just all you're going to see is the problems. And so fixing your eyes on him, fixing your eyes on things that are lovely, that are of good report, fixing your eyes on things that you can praise him for, that are good in your world, you'll recognize that, man, you know what? This problem may not be as big as what I think it is, because he's already got the solution worked out anyway. Um, and so I want you to remember the scripture that talks about, come to me all who are weary and I will give you rest. So in your weary times, and we all know that Father's Day is coming up. For some, Father's Day is a great, wonderful, celebratory holiday. For some, it's a mix. If you've lost your father, you've never had him in your life, or you are a single mom, or whatever the case may be, sometimes Father's Day is not the most exciting day for you, but you have to know who to rest in, because he has the answers. But to all my fathers out there, we celebrate you, we salute you, especially if you are doing the role of fatherhood, because it is not easy either. And thank you. Thank you for what you're doing with our babies. We need you. And last thing I want to share is sometimes, when you ride in a car, you get like little downloads. And I was driving in a car earlier this week, and God often speaks to me as far as like medical terms, because that's where I came from, the hospital doing labor and delivery and all of that. And he was talking to me about how everyone is needed in the kingdom of light. There's a kingdom of light and there's a kingdom of darkness. But everyone is needed in the kingdom, and we have different roles, but nobody's role is more important than others. So just like in the hospital setting, you may have your regular primary care doctor that you may go to, you get a little sore throat, or something like that. And you go to for your yearly checkups just to make sure you're maintaining your health. You might then have a specialist where if you having something more specific going on in your body, you go to that doctor. Then you may have surgery. You may need surgery. You're gonna go to a surgeon or a surgery center. You may then need to be in the ICU, and then you're gonna be in the hospital type setting. It might be an emergency, and you need to go to the emergency room. So the giftings and the things that he's placed on the inside of us is to serve all those purposes for people in the kingdom. And just because you have more of a specialty and you looking at this person as more like on the helping people maintain wave, neither one is greater than the other. They're all necessary, all the giftings, and they all work together to be able to have a cohesive, healthy kingdom. So let's continue to use all our giftings for that way, and we will see great progress. As what will happen in heaven, let it happen in earth. And I believe that might be it. If you have any questions, thoughts, anything around motherhood, balancing it all, any of that, let me know. I would love to be able to engage with you, answer your questions. If you're interested in any services, My Mommy, My Baby, we offer, I'm a certified life coach as well, so we offer coaching services, anything around prenatal health, education, lactation services. If you're in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area, we offer labor support, actually in the hospital setting. So it really is a place that you can come to, and as a mom, and have like a wraparound service to get your needs met. And I'm talking about a mom that has a newborn to a mom that have a grown adult kids, because underneath it all, we're just a woman. We're a woman with the role. One of the roles that we play is mother. And we have to be able to maintain a level of wellness and health for it all: mental, physical, financial, relational health, all of that. And we address it all over here. So I would love to hear from you. If you're interested, book a free maternal wellness consult on our website. Our website is www.mymommymybaby.org. And yeah, that's how you connect with us. Also connect with us over on Instagram. It's mymommy.mybaby. And TikTok is mymommy.mybaby. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you, connecting with you on next Thursday. All right, bye now. See you soon.